Good morning, students. Today, I'd like to teach you ninth class second chapter, the natural realms of the earth or physical elements of the earth. So, students, can you imagine without air, land, and water, can you live on the earth's surface? No, it's impossible. So, our life exists on the earth's surface only with water, land, and air. So without these elements, our life is not exist on the earth's surface. So these are called real arms of the earth or physical elements of the earth. Let's see what are they. So these are the four main spheres or physical elements or real arms of the earth. Air, water, land, life. Life means plants and animals. Air, water, land, plants and animals. So, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, biosphere. Lithosphere is nothing but land, hydrosphere is water, atmosphere is air, biosphere is plants and animals. Let's see. First one, lithosphere. It is the solid crust or the hard top part of the earth. It is made up of rocks and minerals covered with a thick layer of soil. Lithosphere is English word. It is derived from two Greek words, litho and spira. Litho means stone or rock and spira means spear or ball. So lithosphere is derived from two Greek words, litho and spira. Litho means stone or rock, spira means spear or ball. It has high mountains, plateaus or highlands, low plains, deep valleys and very deep basins which are filled with water. And many of these features are shaped by wind and also water. Next two slides I will explain about this, how this was formed because of wind and water. Hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is nothing but water. So all the water bodies comes under hydrosphere. The realms of the water is called the hydrosphere. It is derived from Greek word hydr. Hydr means water. It comprises various sources of water and different types of water bodies like rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, etc. And some part of the water is found deep down under the earth among the rocks. Atmosphere. So, atmosphere means nothing but air. The thin layer of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. It is a combination of two Greek words. It is also derived from Greek word atmos. Atmos means vapor. It consists of a large number of gases including oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, dust particles, etc. So what is the importance of atmosphere? It provides the necessary gases for living things to survive. So we are breathing oxygen. So it is also one of the gas in the atmosphere. And we release the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide also one of the gas in atmosphere. And it regulates the heat from the sun to just the right temperature for life on the earth. So atmosphere controls the temperature whatever releases from the sun. Plays an important role in the water cycle. Already you studied in your 7th class about the water cycle. And the ozone layer protects the earth from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays and protects the earth from small meteoroids. Let's see the gases in the atmosphere. Atmosphere is a mixture of gases. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, trace gases and remaining gases 1%. Argon, CO2 carbon dioxide, neon, methane, krypton, hydrogen and water vapor. So which is more here and which is more percentage of gas in the atmosphere? Nitrogen 78%. And how much percentage of oxygen in the air? 21%. Remaining gases 1%. Next, the layers of the atmosphere. If you move from the Earth's surface to the above, this atmosphere divided into 4 layers. The atmosphere is divided into 4 layers based on the temperature changes that occur at different distance above the Earth's surface. The troposphere, first layer troposphere, second layer stratosphere, third mesosphere, fourth thermosphere. So next classes I will explain clearly about these layers. Let's see biosphere. The realms of the life including bacteria and which live high on atmosphere or in deep oceans consisting the biosphere. It is also derived from the Greek word bios. Bios means life. All forms of life have an integral connection with the land, water and air. So, this atmosphere is depending on biosphere, biosphere is depending on hydrosphere, hydrosphere is depending on lithosphere. So, these realms or physical elements are depending on each other. Landform. So, lithosphere deals with the land we live upon. Geographers, as the first order of landform, are the primary divisions of the earth crust into oceans and continents. So, lithosphere deals with the land we live upon. As you saw in the last chapter, the crust of the earth is uneven. The very low basins are now filled with oceans, and then there are the continents. These are called by the geographers the first order of landforms or primary divisions of the earth crust into oceans and continents. So, first order of landforms, oceans and continents. So, primary order of landforms or first order of landforms, continents and oceans. Let's see here. So, here continents from first to 7. How many continents? 7 continents. So, biggest one to smallest one. Biggest continent Asia, second Africa, third North America, fourth South America, fifth Antarctica, sixth Europe, 7 Australia. Next, oceans. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic or Southern Ocean, Antarctic Ocean or Southern Ocean, next Arctic Ocean. Once again, Pacific Ocean, next Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Antarctic Ocean or Southern Ocean, Arctic Ocean. So, total 7 continents and 5 oceans. These 5 oceans and 7 continents comes under primary order of landforms or first order of landform. Next, second order of landform. The surface of the continents is not uneven. They have plain lowlands, plateaus and high mountains, but are also in a way a result of the internal process of the earth. These landforms like mountains, plains and plateaus are called the second order of landforms. First order of landforms, continents and ocean. Second order of landforms, mountains, plateaus and plains. So let's see, plains, plateaus and mountains. These 3 comes under second order of landforms. Third order of landforms, valleys, canyons, dunes. Let's see, the scientists thought that in the beginning probably all the continents were held together and how they broke up and gradually drifted and came to their present places. There are about 7 major plates on the earth and several minor ones. The major plates are African, the North American, South American, Indian, Australian, Antarctic, Eurasian and Pacific plates. The major plates are Nazca, Arabian and Caribbean. Sea floor spreading. These are formed by the lava rising up from the mantle. The eruption of the ridge create new ocean floor made of basalt rocks and which then spreads laterally from the ridge. The mid-ocean ridges contain the newest crust formed on the planet. This fresh crust is being slowly pulled away from the ridge, widening the ocean basin. Pacific Ring of Fire. The geologists noted the high number of earthquakes and volcanic activity occurring around the Pacific Ring, the edge of the Pacific Ocean basin. The theory of the plate tectonics provided the explanation for this pattern. It is along these plate boundaries that many volcanoes and earthquakes occur, giving in the name of Pacific Ring of Fire. Here you observe the textbook picture. So it explains about the Pacific Ring of Fire. So we find out number of volcanoes surrounding of this Pacific. So we can call it Pacific Ring of Fire. So how air and water transform the surface of the earth. So rocks were formed out of molten material coming from the mantle of the earth. These rocks over millions of years have been shaped into valleys and plains of loose soil. River valleys cut into mountains and plateaus. Now, how did this happen? Actually, the hard primary rocks are broken into smaller pieces. These smaller pieces are cut off from the parent rock and carried lower down to other places and deposited there. This process is formally defined as the follows, like weathering, erosion, transportation and deposition. First one, weathering. The gradual disintegration of rocks by atmospheric forces or weather forces. The rocks, when exposed to heat, expand and contract when cooled down. As surface rock contracts, expands and contracts again, it gradually becomes brittle and begins to break down. And water reacts with the chemicals of the rocks and further weakens the rock. These processes by which the rocks are weakened and broken are called the weathering. So this is the picture explains about the weathering. Next, erosion. Flowing water and wind have great power and can slowly wear away or cut away the rocks and soil cover in high places. The water acts in many ways as rain, river, flowing groundwater, sea waves, glaciers, etc. Wind too takes many forms like storm, gust, steady winds, etc. The active wearing away of the earth's surface by these moving agents is called the erosion. Transportation. The erodes material in the form of small rocks, gravel, mud, fine soil, etc. carried by winds and water is called transportation. Rivers and winds and even waves cut soil and rocks from one place and take them to distant places, sometimes hundreds of kilometers. Deposition. When the rivers and winds slow down, they do not have the force to carry the material anymore and they dump them. These dumped debris help to form the plains and river basins. Much of it is actually transported by rivers to the sea, where layer after layer of these deposits accumulate in the bottom and over time get transformed into sedimentary rocks. Work of water. V-shaped valleys. Observe in the picture, this explains about the V-shaped valley. V-shaped valleys are found in the upper course of the river, where water flows quickly through a narrow channel with the steep gradient. Grand Canyon. So let's see here. In the textbook also you can observe the Grand Canyon. It is the biggest canyon in the world. It is one of the river Colorado. The Grand Canyon is USA. Is 466 kilometers in length. Its depth is 1.6 kilometer and the width is 188 meters to 29 kilometer. So this is the history about the Grand Canyon. So the Grand Canyons become a national park on February 26, 1919. This was just 3 years after the creation of the National Park Service. The Grand Canyon is the 15th oldest national park in the United States. In 1903, President Roosevelt visited the sites and said that nothing should ever be done to destroy its beauty, because it was the one great sight which every American should see. And it wasn't until the President Woodrow Wilson signed the Grand Canyon National Park Act in 1919 that it officially became a national park. The Grand Canyon will celebrate its 100th birthday in 2019. So let's see, it is the biggest canyon in the world. Where it is? It is in USA. Georges. A narrow valley between the two hills or mountains, typically with steep rocky walls and a stream running through it. It's called gorges. Next class, I will explain about atmosphere layers or layers in the atmosphere like troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and exosphere. I will explain in the next class clearly. Thank you.